Alright, yun. So magandang araw and good day again to everyone. So this is Very again doing our usual daily process and market update video kung saan I'll be discussing what happened with the markets for today's session and ano rin yung ginawa ko in this trading session. So today is Feb 7, 2025 around 8:55 a.m. Philippine time. So today we are up by 1,100. So we did some few trades. We sold RSI. We sold half of RSI. PLTR. We added on PLTR, and I added on other stocks as well. So later on discuss natin. But first, let's discuss what happened with the markets. ETF heat map. The SPY is up by 0.35%. The Qs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF, the market cap weighted Nasdaq 100 is up by 0.52%. IWM, negative 0.33%. So actually, the Nasdaq 100 outperformed the SPY and the small cap index. So in sectors, XLE is down. So yung mga noticeable sectors natin, XLE is down by negative 1.84%. XLV, negative 1% halos. XLF up by 0.83%. So XLK Tech, consumer staples, consumer discretionary, quite flat. Actually, same with materials. Mid-caps for today's session, actually flat. So what happened today? Ano yung naging overall summary ng markets today? Let's look at our Pulseman report. So percent of indices up for today, 42.86%. Up for the week, 85.71%. Above the 10 and 20-day moving average, 85.71%. Above the 50-day, same as well. So basically, ayun nga, IWM is underperforming the SPY. SPY outperformed today, same with mid-caps. Mid-caps underperformed. And RSP, yung equally weighted S&P 500 natin. So, moving average market bread or moving average bread natin, percent of stocks above the 20, 61%, above 50-day moving average, 50% as well, above 50%, 100-day moving average, 52.8%, telling us that bulls are in control in all time frames in terms of moving average spread. So, are we on a risk-on market? Yes, we're still on a risk-on type of market. So, nagkaroon lang tayo ng onting downgrade in terms of market type, long ride type of market na lang tayo. So from a momentum land type of market, nagkaroon tayo ng onting decline in terms of momentum composite score. Yun na, dahil na rin nga dun sa sa hindi lahat ng index are up for today's session. So that's that. That's our index summary. Let's look at the individual names. Stock heat map, Palantir is up by 9.8%. So if we're gonna consider pre-market, around roughly 10.20%. Ganun. Nvidia is also up. So almost 2 days, nag-ano na siya, 2 days na siya nag-recover. So that's good. AMD is still down, MSTR down. Mga Bitcoin names natin as well, mga crypto names natin are declining due to that. BTC is still below the 100K level. Tesla is also down, negative 1.02%. Amazon is up by 1.13%. So speaking of Amazon, released their earnings, I think, for today after the bell. So right now it's gapping down. So gap down siya right now. So almost patapos na rin yung post-market session. And the market did not like Amazon's earnings release. So earnings release, earnings surprise, 25, earnings beat naman siya, EPS beat, 25.14%, revenue beat as well. Pero super minimal lang din kasi na yung revenue. So maybe baka bumawi sa guidance, I'm not sure. Let's see later. But so far, hindi maganda yung reaction, initial reaction. So same reaction with what happened with Microsoft. Yan, no? So after earnings, gap down, post-market, nag-consolidate, pre-market, followed through. For the few days, nag-consolidate as well. So that's our earnings highlights. So for today's session, meron ba tayong key economic data release? So far, wala naman. Thursday, more of Fed speak lang and initial jobless claims. So initial jobless claims, 219 versus the consensus of 213. Okay. Ibig sabihin, tumataas yung unemployment claims, di ba? Unemployment claims. Non-farm productivity, 1.2%. Net labor cost, 3%. So, mga ano naman to, mga tier 2 economic data releases lang naman to. Ang pinaka-importante later is yung NFP and unemployment rate. ideally, gusto natin makakita ng konting pag-decline ng NFP and unemployment rate at least 4.1% or 4.2%. So at 4.1%, 4.2%, the market may rally. The market may break out of this trading range or possibly pwede dito sa kahit sa channel na to. So meron tayong trading range dito, mukha siyang cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. But clear as day na meron tayong trading range na ganito, no? Looks like a channel nga, di ba? So it's either we're gonna resist at this level, 606. Hindi maganda yung NFP data, unemployment data, we're gonna revisit the $600 area again. Or, the market likes the NFP data, unemployment claims, unemployment rate data, sorry. Yun. Then most likely, doon tayo magkakaroon ng all-time high breakout for the Qs. Now, let's proceed with MDY. So, right now, MDY, initially, nagkaroon ng decline intraday, but eventually recovered above this volume point of control and the 50-day moving average. So, telling us that bulls are still in control in mid-caps. So, we're above the 50, 10, 20, and 100-day moving average. So, right now, let's proceed with small caps. So, same story. Initially, nagkaroon tayo ng decline and most likely due to Google's earnings report. Tapos, nagkaroon ng intraday sell-off. So, right now, IWM critical that we close above 230 level. No? So, next resistance for IWM for small caps is at 235 dito. 235, 236 dito sa value area high, which is a high volume node area. So, madami kang break-even sellers at this area. So, that's IWM. Now, let's proceed with Dow Jones Industrial Average. So, almost in a trading range for around 10 days na rin. So, syempre, as always, if we break above this 450 level, then we need to look at value names as well. So, value proxy kasi itong Dow Jones. So, RSP, equally weighted S&P 500. So, initially also sold off but eventually recovered. We're still above the 20-day, 50-day, and 100-day moving average. So RSP is the equally weighted S&P 500, which is a much better gauge on current market health since it considers all stocks in the S&P 500 equally. Unlike yung S&P 500 na mas nag-lean towards siya sa mga mega caps, big caps. So that's RSP. Now let's proceed with the equally weighted Qs. Right now, the equally weighted Qs, unlike the RSP, halos malapit na rin doon sa all-time high level. So, RSP is roughly around 5%, 4% away from all-time high. Itong equally weighted Qs natin, roughly 2%, actually less than 1% near all-time high or at all-time high versus all-time high. So, mas malakas yung equally weighted Qs natin. So, ano yung pinaka-message nun? If you want to trade nasa 100 names, pwede ka mag-focus on small caps, mid cap tech names, no? Mid cap tech names. Yung market cap weighted Qs natin halos okay din naman, actually okay din naman, pero yun nga, mas nakikita natin ng potential yung equally weighted Qs natin. So maybe look for setups in mid cap tech, small cap tech names. So that's equally weighted Qs telling us that ayun nga, we are experiencing a broad market rally in the Nasdaq 100 components. So all major indices are telling us that it's a risk on type of market din, 'di ba? So from an index standpoint, all indices are doing good. All indices are doing good. So let's look at internals MMFD. Are we at the point na it's time to sell on strength? Based on MMFD, percent of stocks above the 5-day moving average. Hindi pa naman. Once we reach or touch this 85 level, 86 level, roughly this area, then dapat dun tayo nagbebenta on strength. Lalong-lalo na on working names, yung mga names na overextended na rin na hawak mo. Or yung mga possessions mong overextended na. So for example, right now, nakapagbenta na ako ng overextended names eh. I already sold DRI, already sold HIMS, So that's the point, di ba? You follow this market internal as a signal or leading signal for corrections or upcoming corrections and market downturns and mga market recovery. So whenever MMFD is at 20% or at this oversold area. It's time to look for setups. It's time to look for setups. Dapat naghahanap ka ng mga high relative strength names, yung mga names na nagpapakita ng overall resiliency, no? So that's MMFD. MMTW also telling us that there is room for upside for above the 50% level. Ibig sabihin, mas madaming stocks above the 20-day moving average, which means that bulls are in control in the short-term time frame. So once we reach the 75% level, 74% level, it's time to sell on strength on your key names na nag-rally din. Or at least sell partials, diba? So MMFI, percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average, also telling us that there is room for upside. There's still room for upside. So whenever we recover above the 50% level, dun tayo nagkakaroon ng at least an easy dollar environment. An easy dollar environment. Whenever we're at the 50% level in MMFI, MMOH, MMTW. It's an easy dollar environment. Ibig sabihin dun, breakouts are working, pullbacks are working. The market is actually bullish. The market is actually bullish. So that's our internals also telling us that it's still a risk on market environment. Let's look at general macro. Let's look at the dollar index. So dollar index initially tried to break above 108. Pero ngayon, it's showing some signs of rejection or bearish rejection. So para siyang Dragonfly Doji or inverse hammer, whatever you want to call it. But clear as day na it's telling us that the dollar is weakening. So ayun nga, ideally, what you want to see for the dollar is to decline and to weaken. So a weak dollar is good for equities. A weak dollar is good for equities. Same with US 10-year yields. So thankfully, US 10-year yields natin already closed below the 50-day moving average. Yan. Full candle close below the 50-day moving average. So that's good. That's good development. So a weak bond yield, US 10-year bond yield is good for equities as well. So that's our general macro. Looking at commodities, simply put, copper is breaking out of this downtrend line. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Most likely, ang pinaka message yan is meron kang global expansion. May global expansion. Actually, may room, hindi naman rumors but actual events to right now. So Washington DC and Moscow is in talks for an end on the Ukraine war. So ibig sabihin nun, if matapos na yung Ukraine-Russia war, magkakaroon ng rebuilding in Ukraine, magkakaroon ng rebuilding in Russia. And ibig sabihin nun, there will be a higher demand for copper, for industrial metals. So one sign yun na nagbe-breakout yun. Nagbe-breakout tong copper. I mean. So that's one of the catalysts for copper. US oil, it's already declining. Another message nito is saying nga maybe an end of the Ukraine-Russia war. So that's gonna be an anticipated good news, or the market is pricing in that good news. So a declining US oil is good for inflation, diba? So one of the most used commodity tong US oil. So if US oil declines, most likely inflation will decline, which in turn tataas yung probability for rate cuts or the daming rate cuts this 2025. So now let's look at gold. Right now, gold is at all-time high or near all-time high, creating this actually two-day pause days na to, 2-day inside bar. So ang hirap tansyahin. Tumataas yung gold mo, which is a risk of signal. Hindi naman risk of, but it's a safe haven asset. Pwede rin dahil dun sa possibility na, yun nga, end of Ukraine-Russia war, bababa yung inflation, bababa yung bond yields, bababa yung interest rate, which is a tailwind for gold din. So, monetary easing is a tailwind for gold. So, one component yun, one aspect yun, why gold is breaking out. So, if you're gonna look at gold, all-time high yan, but looking at GDX, gold miners, layo pa ng all-time high niya. Layo pa niya sa all-time high. So, ang laki ng differential between gold and gold miners. So, kaya meron akong possession in GDX, mga gold miners. So, that's gold, silver as well. I think breaking out of this $32 area. So, breaking out of this resistance area. So, it's also considered as an industrial metal tong silver. So, bonds, let's look at bonds, AGG. So, rallying above, or 2 days above the 50-day moving average. So, that's good. TLT, we also have a position in TLT in our long-term portfolio. Almost 2 days above the 50-day moving average. So, that's bonds. Looking at crypto, kamusta ba yung crypto markets natin? So, BTC, still below the 100-day moving average. Still below the 100K level. Sorry, 100-day moving average today. 100K level and the VPOC area. Volume point of control. So, we're still below the 50-day. So, risk off muna in crypto. Looking at spider sector, XLY, coiling, creating a base after this pullback breakout. So, that's good. Maybe we experience a breakout in consumer discretionary and doon tayo makakita ng momentum names and consumer discretionary. So actually, meron akong isang consumer discretionary na hawak, RCL, Royal Caribbean Cruises. So it's a power earnings gap play. It's a power earnings gap and a pullback play. Short-term pullback play. So 1 hour time frame, if we're gonna look at RCL, ito yung anchored VWAP natin. Ito yung earnings anchored VWAP. So initially, undercutted and reclaimed. Nag-create siya ng inside bar dito. So I bought this inside bar breakout. So it's a consumer discretionary. So XLF, looking at XLF, also doing good. Breaking new all-time high. So XLC, so same structure. Ito yung mga malalakas nating sectors. Yung mga sectors na near all-time high. XLK, still in a trading range almost ilang months na to. 6-month trading range na to. So once we break above this all-time high level, doon tayo makakita ng strong rally in the tech sector. So XLV, initially nag-breakout dito sa inside bar na to, pero right now it's testing the 10-day moving average as support. XLP, so 50-day rejection, 50-day moving average rejection. So XLB, so copper's breaking out, gold is breaking out, silver is breaking out. Most likely, sooner or later mag-breakout na rin tayo sa flag na to. Sa flag pattern. So XLU, so still below the 100-day. So once we break above the 100-day, maybe magkakaroon tayo ng rally in CEG, G Vernova, VST, yung mga utilities, core utilities natin. XLI, mukhang distribution structure, pero we need to look at this channel pullback. No? So once we break above this channel pullback, maybe we see a rally in industrials. So XLE, out of all the sectors, ito yung pinakapangit para sa akin. Ayun nga, kasi babagsak yung US oil. So stay away from XLE. XLRE doing good as well, creating this square root reversal pattern. So right now, we're above the 50-day moving average, 1 day above the 50-day moving average. So we broke above this roughly 2-week trading range. So that's our spider sectors. So looking at market groups, bilisan lang natin. Market groups, ano yung malalakas na market groups? So yun nga, gold miners up to online retail. So 13 market groups na above 70% level. And ano yung mga market groups na nag-gain today? More than 2%. Or at least 1%. So regional banks doing good for today. Steel producers, transpo, property casualty insurance also doing good. Cannabis and renewables. So if you want to look for names under this strong market groups, punta ka lang dito. Go to this weekly top-down scan. So it considers all strong market groups. Then copy-paste na lang yung ticker list. So we have around 100 names. 100 names na under strong sectors. Strong industry groups. So that's that. Tapos na tayo sa market groups. Now let's proceed with ano ba, momentum monitor natin, yung momentum monitor. So, saan ba nagwo-workout? Saan ba nagwo-workout? Saan ba nagwo-work yung breakouts? Workout kasi yung wife ko. So, saan ba nangyayari yung breakout? So, financials, communications, tech sector. Breakouts are working in the financial up to tech and consumer discretionary. Real estate as well, short-term breakouts are working. Consumer staples also doing good. Above 10% cut-off natin. So, advancing stocks. So, all stocks, 45%. So, mas madaming stocks na nag-decline or at least unchanged for today. But in terms of the segments, big caps and mid caps, mas madami nag-advance in big caps and mid caps. Small caps, mas madami nag-decline for today's session. So, for today's session, strong advancers in the real estate sector and financial sector. Moving average spread, healthy moving average spread, ito mga sectors ito. Financials, communications, tech sector, utilities, as well, ano pa ba? Consumer discretionary, healthcare, and real estate. So, ito yung mga magagandang sectors natin in terms of moving averages. So, that's our bull momentum bread monitor. Now, let's talk about earnings releases today. Ano ba yung malalakas na earnings releases after the bell? So, let's look at the earnings watch. So, Doximity. Tama ba? Doximity. So, Pins, Pinterest, and Net. So, let's look at these following names. Tapad tayo dito. So, Dox. Simulan natin sa Dox. So, ang ganda ng pre-market session, ay post-market movement niya, no? So, Doximity. So, ilagay natin to sa ating day trade list. So, Dox. So, maybe I'll wait for an anchored VWAP reclaim or at least an anchored VWAP pullback. So, at the daily, let's look at the daily of Doximity. So, it's creating a multi-month base actually. Right now, we're above the $72 level. So, roughly at this area, $72 level. So, gap up siya. 10% gap up to. Roughly 20%, 25%. So, ano ba yung earnings nito? Ano ba yung lumabas na earnings? So, higher than expected revenues. So, EPS beat, revenue beat. Tingnan natin yung earnings scorecard. So, right now, higher EPS, 0.45 versus 0.29 year-on-year. So, in terms of revenues, so increasing revenues naman siya. Ano ba yung current revenue? 168. So, all-time high revenues. All-time high revenues. So, let's look at what's happening at the bigger picture. Saan ba yung next resistance level? Tignan natin tong trading range na ito. Tignan natin to. So, nasaan ba yung volume point of control? Nandito sa $75 area. So, if we break above $75, then I think madali nang basagin tong area na to, no? Unti lang yung break-even sellers mo dito. So, profit takers at this level, saan ba? So, with respect to this trading range, so measured move, 1618 level, roughly $80. So, if we're gonna trade Doximity as a day trade, maybe wait for a dip talaga instead of rushing dito sa base breakout. Tulad nung ginawa ko with Palantir. I waited for an anchored VWAP pullback tulad nito. So, initially, nag-create siya ng pre-market base, nag-pullback, I bought at the pullback, multiple tranches, at least para progressive sizing. And then, I added on the break of this day 1 high. So, meron tayong continuation pattern dito. And right now, it's rallying post-market. So, that's Palantir, and right now Doximity is showing that sign of possible pullback setup as well. So let's put an anchored VWAP at this area. Dito na lang. Yan, anchored VWAP. Peg natin dito. Dito sa first big volume candle. So, lagay tayo ng alert, crossing, anchored VWAP, or at least dalawang alerts dito. Crossing. So, that's Doximity. So, meron ka na rin kasing RSI divergence, RSI bearish divergence. So, higher high in price, lower high in RSI. So, wait for a pullback. At least malaking upside potential mo. So, let's say you caught or you might get this at 68. At the $80 target, ang laki na upside potential mo. Roughly 5 to 1, 6 to 1 reward risk yung pwede mo makuha dito. Now, let's look at pins. Pinterest also creating this pre-market base. So, right now, this pre-market, it's up by around 20%. So, daily time frame, let's look at the daily. So, almost ilang months to? 6-month trading range to. And right now, nasaan siya? $39. So, roughly at this area, near the target. So, may profit taking ka din dito. May profit takers ka dito. May gap area ka din dyan. So, wait for a dip para at least malaki yung upside potential mo. Should you trade this for a short-term swing trade or a day trade? A simple day trade. So, lagay lang din natin. Para at least nasa mata lang natin. Nasa watchlist lang natin yung pins. Maybe I'll wait for a pullback at $36. $36 or $37. So, next is Net. So, Cloudflare. So, all-time high ata ito. All-time high. Ay, hindi pala. Multi-year high. So, 2-year high. So, from this accumulation structure, so, it's a clear transition to stage 2 markup, guys. So, meron kang ascending bottom, a transition to stage 2 markup. Right now, anong ginagawa niya pre-market? It's creating a pre-market base. Diba? It's creating a pre-market base where meron ka ding RSI bear div. So, maybe wait for a pullback, anchored VWAP pullback, then can trade that anchored VWAP pullback. Or pwede rin, you can buy the break of 160. Yung post-market high natin. So, since hindi naman siya gap up, hindi pa siya totally super gap up tulad nung DOX, pati tulad nung pins. Ito, 13% pa lang naman siya. 13%. So, tapos ito, ganda pa, stage 2 transition. Fresh stage 2 transition. So, I'm expecting a strong day 1 reaction. So, in terms of revenues, earnings release, so higher than expected EPS, higher revenues as well. Tignan natin yung earnings scorecard. Wait lang. So, ano ba yung current revenues niya? So, current revenues, 459. So, rising revenues. So, Q1, 378, Q2, 401, Q3, 430, Q4, 459. So, rising revenues, meron kang revenue growth, meron ka ding actually, yung EPS mo actually flat lang halos. Hindi naman super significant development. Pero importante yung revenue kasi. Mas may importance yung revenues. Lalong-lalo when considering guidance. So, lagay natin to dito sa ating day trade list. Sige. Ano ba to? Net. Oops. Ano ba yan? Net. Yan. So, that's A-Net. Net pala, Net. Cloudflare. Ayun. So, day 1 setup, guys. Maybe later I'll post the trade plan for Net, DOX, pati pins. So, gumaganda na yung natin, mga earnings reaction natin. Yung first half of the week, medyo pangit eh. Medyo pangit. Buti na lang nakuha ko tong Palantir. It's not a day trade but a short-term swing trade. So, I have Palantir. I added Palantir today. So, ito yung current position ko. So, I'm 2.4K up So, initial cash at risk ko dito is $400 lang actually. Pero, let's consider a $500 cash at risk. So, progressive sizing yung ginawa ko. So, initially, ang let ng VAR ko, di ba? Let ng cash at risk ko. So, should I get stopped out in Palantir initially? At least $500 loss lang. Then, nung gumagana na yung setup, doon ako nagdadagdag. And, yung stops ko is near break-even. Near break-even. So, right now, nagdadagdag pa ako. And my plan is to wait for a sign of reversal or at least, yun nga, sign of reversal tapos an exhaustion candle. So, meron kasing character si Palantir na after earnings, nagkikreate siya ng lockout rally. Yung tipong nag-rally siya for 5 to 10 days. Tapos all-time high pa yan. All-time high. So, let's see what's gonna happen with Palantir. With my Palantir trade. Garden Restaurants, I already sold half. 1 to 2 days ago ata. So, I was already unloading with DRI. So, $200 area, round number area, you need to be selling on strength. So, Clavio, ito hindi ko pa nagagawa mag-sell on strength dito. I'm waiting for $48. Pero looks like papakita na siya ng weakness. So, if it closes below 47, I should be selling on strength. I should be selling partials na rin at 47. So, that's Clavio. Next trade is Netflix, also a post-earnings coil. So, tulad nung sinabi ko dito, after power earnings gap, create ng coil, kiss the 10-day, and then rally. Lockout rally. So, let's see what's gonna happen with Netflix. My plan is to add on the way up on Netflix. Since ayun nga, may character naman siya for lockout rally, manage ko na maayos tong trade na to. So, I added Netflix as well yesterday. Yan. I bought 20 shares at 10,000 tuloy. 1,009. 1,009. So, that's Netflix. Next is AS. So, it's a runner possession. I'm just holding this name. So far, we're at the targets na rin. 200% measured target. So, Fubo TV, ito, nagkaroon lang ng big decline. Most likely dahil dun sa Disney earnings reaction. Pangit na earnings reaction with Disney eh. So, Fubo TV kasi, meron siyang deal with Disney. Tingnan natin to. So, merge with Disney rating service to Hulu. Blah, blah, blah. Following the announcement, food surge to 51%. Blah, blah, blah. So, let's see what's gonna happen with Fubo TV. Right now, I am at break-even, roughly at break-even. So, negative $69 ako with Fubo TV. May dollar risk for Fubo TV is $500 din halos. $500 to $800. So, my plan is, ayun nga, give this some breathing room. If it closes below $4, yun ko siya ibebenta. So, that's Fubo TV. At the lower time frame, medyo mukha pa naman siyang actually, hindi na mukhang okay. Importante itong $4. Maybe overshoot lang ng neckline retest. So, ito yung neckline mo. Kunwari, horizontal line lang. So, retest, maybe overshoot lang na onte. Then, recover. But ayun nga, since medyo mababa yung average price ko, malaki yung buffer ko for Fubo TV. At least, kunyari, mas top out ako at 389, 380, minimal loss lang. So, Asana, also, a pullback play, a post-earnings pullback play. So, at the daily, ito yung makikita mo. After earnings, nag-gap up, nag-rally for the next 10 days, nag-create ng pullback, nag-breakout sa pullback, nahanap yung support at the 50-day, and right now, it's about to break the $22 area. So, if we're gonna look at the Bollinger Bands, nag-expand na yung Bollinger Bands mo at the daily. Yung upper band mo is already expanding, lower band mo is already expanding. So, my plan for this stock is give this some breathing room, add on the breakout of $23. $23. So, another setup na I'm really looking at. So, Asana. Point, I bought this on the breakout. Ayun nga, stops ko medyo tight lang, roughly at 1890. So, point at the daily. Tignan natin to. It's already expanding. Bollinger Bands are already expanding. All-time high stock din to. Fresh all-time high stock. So, IPO accumulation base breakout. So, if we're gonna transition to an IPO acceleration phase, malaki upside potential niya overall, di ba? Para siyang katulad ni I forgot, I think Palantir din. Palantir or Uplovin. So, Uplovin, tingnan mo Ito, Uplovin. Ito yung Uplovin. So, IPO multi-bagger theory. IPO multi-bagger theory states that the biggest move of a stock happens on the first 5 to 8 years after IPO. After IPO. So ito, 2021, nag-IPO. Almost 5 years siya in consolidation, nag-breakout. After the breakout to all-time high, nag-rally siya, nag-create siya ng lockout rally. So, kaya ako siya binibili itong AvePoint. So, same structure. So, ever since 2020, first 5 years, nag-accumulate lang siya, nag-create lang siya ng big consolidation. I mean, hindi naman consolidation, but a big saucer. A saucer base or IPO accumulation base, whatever you want to call it. But bottom line, we're at all-time high. So, binili ko tong reclaim of the all-time high. Tapos, medyo nag-tight stop lang ako. Slightly below $19. So, kunyari, mas stop to, I'll be ready to buy it back. So, AvePoint, potentially, same structure with Uplovin. So, next is RBRK. I rebought RBRK, added on RBRK. On this portfolio, actually, nag-rebuy pala ako. On my other portfolio, hawak ko pa siya. RBRK creating this base. All-time high din to, guys. All-time high. IPO stock din siya. Recently IPO'd stock. Uplovin, I'm already planning on just holding this name before earnings. I'll be selling partial, so at least majority of my position. So para sa akin, dapat mag-rally na to. Then, take advantage ko yung rally, benta ako onte. If good enough yung profit buffer, I'll be holding the balance. So it's simply a pre-earning swing play. RSI, it's a fake out and squat setup. Wait lang reload ko lang to. Yeah. Yan, ito, Rush Street. Itong RSI, stage 2 stock to stage 2 stock. Tapos, nasa magandang sector din, casinos and gaming. So initially, nag-breakout siya, got faded, nagkaroon na fake out, squatted at the 50-day moving average, recovered, then reclaimed the 20-day moving average. So dito ko siya kinuha, stops ko, roughly near the 50-day moving average or the $14 area. So today, I sold partials on RSI, sold half para to de-risk. So kunyari, mag-reclaim naman siya ng 1480, I'll be rebuying those shares. So, let's say, ma-stop to at 14.8, 14.08. Saan may stops ko with RSI? 14.04. Kunyari, ma-stop to at least, mas maliit na lang yung loss. So, it's all about trade management. So, that's RSI. Rocket Lab, I'm still planning to buy this. Though wala pa akong position in this portfolio. Wala pa akong Rocket Lab. So, base breakout din siya, IPO stock. So, first 5 years. 2021. Tapos we're transitioning to the advancing stage of the IPO stock. So right now, what I am seeing at the lower time frame is this pattern. So pullback retest. So ito yung base mo, nag-breakout, nag-create ng retest. So meron ng buy stop limit at $29, $29.15. Stops ko nilagay ko at 26. So, yun yung resting order ko for RKLB, Rocket Lab. So, MGNI, I bought MGNI. Base breakout din siya. So, day 1 of the breakout. Tapos, stage 2 stock. Stage 2 markup stock. Ito yung accumulation structure mo. After the accumulation, to stage 2 markup transition, nag-create siya ng base. Right now, breaking above that base. So, Magnite. So, paano ko siya binili kahapon? 5-minute time frame. 5-minute time frame, ano siya eh, ano ba yun? Wala na ako. Ito wala dito. Simply at the open ko siya binili. Simply at the open. Binili ko siya at the open. RCL, ito, binili ko din on the reclaim of this anchored VWAP. So, ito yung earnings anchored VWAP, earnings anchored VWAP mo, di ba? So, undercutted, reclaimed, created this inside bar. I bought the break of the inside bar setup. Then, ayun, hawak ko lang siya. So, Tempos AI, medyo ito, nagde-decline. I'm not sure bakit. But, ayun nga, kailangan bigyan din to ng breathing room kasi yun nga, medyo volatile din. So, break-even ko is at $60, $60.37. So, that's Tempos AI. So, HIMS, binenta ko kahapon. Binenta ko near open. HIMS, ano ba yun? So, 7:20 p.m. Philippine time, binenta ko siya. So, ayun nga, nakakita ko na rejection dito sa 1618 level. And then, nag-break below ano siya. Nag-break below 20 SMA line sa 1-hour time frame. So, full candle close, post-market. Tapos, meron pang downgrade. Hindi man downgrade, pero ano ba yun? Meron dito yan. Meron yan dito eh. So, parang binaba yung ano niya, yung price target niya. So, usually kasi pag binaba yung price target on a name na nag-rally, usually natatapos yung rally. So, binenta ko na rin lahat yung HIMS. So, binili ko to dito. So, after this pullback retest dito sa all-time high level, nag-create siya ng mini consolidation at the 1-hour time frame. Ayan, ito yun. Ito yung pullback breakout, create ng consolidation at 29. Doon ko siya binili. And then, sold at 161 at the 1618 level. Actually, $40 yung initial sell ko. Kailangan ko na pinenta. Meron akong ano dito eh. Hindi na umabot. Feb 5, ayan. 40.61 and then 40.33. So, halos $41 ko siya naibenta. $41. So, pwede na rin actually. Although, hindi ko na-reach yung $44 target, di ba? Pero, ganun talaga, hindi mo makukuha yung targets talaga. So, that's that. So, itong HSAI, medyo bad trip, no? Di ba kahapon na-stop out ako? Tapos, dito pa ako na-stop out sa pinaka-low. Di ba? Pinaka-low talaga. 13.8. Tignan mo to, Tangin na lang. Saan ba yung HSAI ko? 1380. 1380. Naibenta ko ng ano, palapit ng close. Stop out ako, tapos nag-rally. So, tangin na, di ba? Pero, ganun talaga. I'm just planning to rebuy this at this inside bar breakout. So, meron tayong inside bar dito eh. Di ba? Inside bar. So, pwedeng tight stop. Pero yun nga, over-deployed na rin ako. Roughly 99% ako deployed eh. 99% deployed. Then yesterday pala, Tesla leverage, naibenta ko na siya. So, meron akong conditional order dito. Ano ba yan? Completed orders. Nawala na yung completed orders. Nawala yung Tesla order ko. Bali, yung ginawa ko dito, naggawa ko ng conditional order. So, sa order ticket, may one contract ako ng Tesla leverage na call option. Then, nag-set ako ng sell order, market order. Tapos may condition ako. Yung condition ko for the Tesla leverage call option is naglagay ako na price condition. So, kunyari, Tesla leverage goes below, ano ba yun? Ano tayo sa Tesla leverage? Goes below $23. Doon ko siya ibebenta. So, gumana naman yung conditional order with the call option. So, usually kasi mahirap mag-set ng stop loss order with options. So, it's a super small loss. So, yun yung advantage with using options. maximized, I mean, may max loss ka, tapos unlimited profits. Unlimited profits. Although dito, na-stopped out lang ako with Tesla leverage. Meron akong GDX call options, meron akong IWM call options, TLT meron din ako dyan. Call options with TLT. 20-year bond, treasury bond ETF. Tapos I'm planning to buy call options on consumer discretionary. Then may isa akong pinaplan na na call option sa isang earnings release next week. So discuss ko na lang on the next video. Ano yung plan ko doon. So yun yung advantage talaga ng options. Pwede mo siyang gamitin as a protective. Kunwari, you want to hold the stock on earnings. Kunwari, meron akong Uplovin, di ba? I have 22 shares of Uplovin. If I want to hedge this, bili ako ng put options. Para, kunwari, bumag-gap down man siya, kikita yung put option mo, yung stock mo, okay, bumabagsak. So, super minimize yung risk mo. Halos nagiging balance lang siya. So, that's the idea. So far, news, wala namang masyadong news. Basically, yung current talks lang ng Washington and Moscow on Ukraine, Ukraine-Russia ceasefire or end of Ukraine-Russia war. Kaya nag-rally yung copper, yun nga, diba? Sinabi ko kanina, XCU is rallying the sign of increasing demand for this industrial metal. Gold is rising. Ayun nga, most possibly dahil it's either risk of signal siya or ano pa ba? Yun nga, as I've said, yung lower yields. So monetary easing is a tailwind for gold prices. Yun. So for today's session, may stocks in focus is Netflix, Palantir. Tapos, kailangan ko alagaan to Fubo TV, Asana as well. AvePoint, since tight stop siya, I need to be prepared to buy back. Kunyari mas stopped out man siya. Pero, looks like hindi naman, retest lang naman to. And, malaki naman yung profit buffer. I mean, malaki yung buffer ko for this position. So, Uplovin, nag-rally na rin, 3% up. Magnite, 6% up. So, binili ko siya at the open and nag-rally siya 6%. RCL as well, doing good. After this post-earnings pullback. So, yun yung mga positions ko. Itong ASTS, tinitingnan ko din to. Ito, anchored VWAP, breakout na rin siya. So, ito yung anchored VWAP from the all-time high level. So, nag-breakout, I'm gonna wait for a mini coil at this area. At $24, $25, $28 area. So, after channel pullbacks kasi, typically, meron ka makikitang coil. Diba? May makikita kang coil. So, if hindi mo nakuha yung breakout ng channel, nung pullback channel, antay ka ng coil, antay ka ng mini consolidation. Then, doon ka pumasok. So, it's a delayed entry. So, yun na muna. Yun lang yung i-prepare ko for today's video. If you have any questions, chat na lang ako. See you on the next video. God bless and goodbye.